So I'll call the meeting to order. Entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the June 8th meeting.
So moved. June 22.
June 8th.
June 8.
Yeah, last one. Or wait,
So moved.
okay.
Yep.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No opposed, no abstentions. So 5-0 to that one. All right, additions and deletions. We have the Windham County tax bill to make sure that you're aware of, and that's under new business. We have the Humane Society contract under new business. We have the state pilot program under correspondence, and we have a directive to the constable in reference to unlicensed dogs under new business. Okay. Is there any presentation by the public? No. Okay. All right. Warrants. Go ahead, Rob.
I'd make a motion to pay the warrants, starting with number 1, payroll in the amount of $10,786.40. Number 2, payroll tax in the amount of $4,072.24. Number 3, general fund, the amount of $9,869. All right, let me repeat that.
Go ahead.
Let's start again. Number 3, general fund, the amount of $9,869.19. We're skipping number 4. Number 5 in the amount of, and number 5 highway in the amount of $3,334.14. Number 6 equipment in the amount of $1,052.25 for a total of $725,302.84. That's with including number 4.
Okay, that will include the number 4 when we get to it. I wanted to separate that one out for discussion. And in this platform, the way we're doing the warrants, if there was one objection, we would have to go back through all of them. So we're going to exclude number 4. We have a motion. Do we have a second on the warrants? 1, 2.
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Any discussion on those 5 warrants?
No.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That's everybody. So we'll go ahead on the motion for number 4, Rob.
Number 4, general fund school in the amount of $896,188.62. And it says revised from June 8th select board meeting. This is an additional $8,235.75.
Would you entertain revising your motion to 696?
You started with 8.
You started with 8.
Well, I think that's what they were hoping for.
So, okay.
I would make an amendment to make it $696,188.62.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, so made and seconded, we'll move into discussion. The reason that this one was separated out was last meeting, if you look at your packet and draw your attention to, now I've got to put my hands on it, what we paid last time was short $8,235.75. This was an amendment that came from the state and the school department saying that they were shorted in the amount of money that they received by that figure. There is not a lot we can do about it other than to bring it up. And when it comes time for questioning these things in school budget meetings, that people have been notified. We have on the school fund, we have no say in what they do with it. We can object to it, but it still goes through. And that's basically the backstory. There is a formula, but the formula is an accountant would have trouble trying to figure out what is in that formula. So It's just something that I think needs to be brought out. Usually we get money back. This year, for some reason, with no open doors and just remote, we were charged an extra $8,200.
So it wasn't an internal problem on our end that they didn't get the payment that was due. They're asking for above and beyond
Correct.
what the voters voted for.
Well, I'm not sure about that because the form that I got doesn't really spell that out. It's 1040 tax form is clearer than this thing. And I haven't gotten a real good answer from the treasurer other than it is, all the figures are correct according to the state. Don't know. I mean, we certainly have the ability to look more into it and bring it up again. But as far as the payment goes, it's already factored in that $696,188.62. So that's the explanation for it. We have a motion made and seconded. And I will tell you that you can have the motion fail. But it will not stop the payment going out. Okay.
I'll just add further that several months ago, we asked Carla to ask the school board why they needed full funds when the schools closed. And their quick response to us was, it's the budget that was passed by the voters. Give us our money. I'm sticking with the budget that was voted by the voters.
Okay. So, does anybody else have anything about this? Okay. All right. So the motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
And aye. And there's no abstentions. So it fails.
It still gets paid, but at
Yeah.
least they know our position.
Okay, that takes care of that. Town treasurer's report. In the municipal investment funds, there are $667,349.53. In the checking account, there's $30,000. All right. Now, I know in the past we've sent these things around. Do you want to send them around or do you want to sign them afterwards? Up to you guys.
You can sign that.
Sign them afterwards. Okay. All right, so old business, COVID-19 update. As you are aware, from sitting here, restrictions have been lifted. There still is a danger out there. If people that are unvaccinated and they have small children below the age of 12, they should really consider their getting vaccinated. There is a variant, it's called the Delta variant, that I just read a piece last night that is extraordinarily dangerous and highly infectious. At one point it was called the India variant, and it's been found in New England, it's been found in the state. The whole purpose of the article was to just alert people that this strain is really nasty. Unless there's something that you want me to do with this more, except for you know, the real critical things that come out, this is the last one of these updates that I'm going to put on the agenda. Any objections to that?
No.
If I get something that is really serious that you should all know about, we'll add it back, but this will be the last one of these updates. Okay. State Library Board met over the renaming of Negro Brook in Townsend. They rejected the petition of the petition that was put in front of them for the name Toby, and they were more, they would entertain the Huzzy name. It's basically what's going to happen from here is it will go back to the petitioners to reform their petition or somebody else to make a petition, and then it'll be represented. I gave our position based on our last meeting about this, that we would send it to the state or send it to the voters at town meeting to decide. There were some people in the audience that were on this call that were not happy that we even had a say in it. And that was kind of ridiculous, honestly. If you ask us for our opinion and don't like our opinion, then we don't have a say in it. It's not, it's certainly not open government. It's certainly not open to the general public to have their say in the matter. And this is Townsend, and we're talking about people from Townsend, not Bain, Jamaica, Wardsboro, Saxon's River, anywhere else. Everybody has the right to an opinion, but so do the people here in town. So I think that this thing has been kind of beat to death for right now. We'll hear it again. It'll come up again. Everybody that was in agreement at that meeting that a change needed to happen. They didn't like the change that was brought forward, or honestly, some of the tactics that were used. So we'll hear from this again. And we'll just have to decide how it comes to us. Any comment? Oh, okay. Okay, so we have, and you know what? I blow right over you, Steve. Since we're coming up on sealed bids, why don't you go ahead and give your report that you should have had the open field a while ago?
I'll start with what I just pulled out of my mailbox walking in here this evening. About a year and a half ago, the town entered a class action lawsuit with Navistar Max Force. It's the engine settlement, which was in our previous truck T9 that we traded in a couple years ago. It had emissions problems that never could get fixed, and it was always a mechanical problem. So we did win with the documentation that we submitted, and we will be receiving a check for $2,500 payable to the town of Townsend coming up in the near future. This Friday, I'll be having a pre-bid meeting on Windham Hill, this year's paving project. That'll be coming up. I did receive the hydraulic study for J Road. This is the culvert replacement that failed late last fall. The hydraulic study recommends two possibilities. One is a 10-foot wide concrete box, and the other is a pipe arch with a clear span of 117 inches and a height of 80 inches. I had two site visits, one with Bob Bazin and one with Win Clark, looking at on site, looking at what we have to work with for stone walls, trees, width of the road, time. This is a dead end road with 3 residents beyond the culvert. So one lane of travel needs to be maintained at all times during this project.
Is this Deere Road?
This is J Road.
Okay.
So a concrete box is what both gentlemen feel is the correct way to go with this project. So what I'm asking the board, if they would allow me to put out to bid a design and build project, which is what we did with Bridge 42. The winner of the bid would be responsible for hiring an engineer to design the project, design the pipe that's going to divert the water while the boxes are being installed, working with the state on installing a bypass road, and then they come and do the install. So it's a one shot for us where we deal with one contractor and not multiple when we do a design and build. So that's what I'm asking for. I did apply for a grant for this project. It was recently approved. So we do have the grant money, which is $175,000. We're also sitting on the $31,000 that we received from the state as a one-time payment in lack of this year's grant program due to COVID. So we have those funds available for this project. Nobody gave me a wild ass guess, but it's going to be in the range of $200K for this project. So between the grant and the money that we have from this past year's grant funds should cover it.
Any questions for Steve about that?
What if they give an estimate that's a lot more than that?
Then we'll have to raise the money in taxes. We have, this grant expires in December of 2023. So this is not a project that'll happen this year. The pipe that's in there now is on a temporary permit through the Agency of Natural Resources, which expires in December of 2022. So we would be looking for a completion date on this project a year from this October. So if we put it out now to bid for the engineering work to be done and to get into someone's work schedule for next year, we could have it done for next October.
Now, I know in the past, there's been a situation where the grant can't cover more than 75% of the actual cost of it. Does that apply in that situation there?
Yes, so the 31K that we're sitting on would go toward grant match.
Okay, so that doesn't include, that 31,000 is included.
In the 175, no.
All right.
I need to purchase some 8-inch minus ditch stone for the ditching that we're doing. Currently, we're on Peaked Road. I have 3 prices. The price is per yard delivered to the town pit. A.S. Clark, $22 a yard. Hunter Excavating, $20.50 a yard. Sersasimo, $18 a yard. And Todd said he would give us a good deal when I called him, and he did. And the money in the 2022 budget for this particular stone is $7,000.
Okay.
Are we looking for a motion on that?
Yes,
I would entertain a motion to accept Sersasimo's bid of $18 a yard.
Seconded.
Okay. Moved and seconded for Sasasimo's. All those in favor?
I,
But don't we go ask after that, after the motion, any questions? One question I'd have, that's trucking included?
yes.
Yes, we do, but in general, I thought we had all of them out. So I think we need to back up though about the study that needs to be done. You need a permission from the board to
Which
move
direction?
forward.
Yep.
Okay, so why don't we put that on the table? Entertain a motion to move forward with a study for the J Road project. And do we have a motion on the table?
Study or design and build?
Design and build. Don't we need a study as well?
That's part of the design.
Okay, design and build. Okay. So,
We're entertaining open bids for it.
yes.
So moved.
Okay,
Or second,
is,
or third. or
it
whatever.
works. It works. I think we're all on the same page. So is there any other questions, Steve, about this particular project on J Road? Okay, we have a deadline of October, did you say 2022 on one thing, and then the overall grant expires in 23?
See, the permit, the temporary permit from the A&R goes to the end of December of 2022. But they also want you out of the water October 1st.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if it's done by October 1st, then we have time to get the grants closed out. And with the last round that I did last year with the state, they wanted canceled checks submitted for reimbursement. So by the time we send an invoice out, we get a check in here, Elaine, it gets cleared from the contractor. Then I need to get all those photocopied and send them in. So that gives me some time to do that, get it closed out.
Did either Basin or Clark give you any sort of a guesstimate of what the precast concrete would cost?
No,
Because I mean, it just seems like a lot of money for that little tiny piece of road.
yes. They did tell me that the prices are up this year. If we had everything in place, we would not be able to get a concrete box delivered to us this year because there's such a backlog.
Okay. Any other questions?
Thanks for being on top of it, man.
Thank you.
Okay, motion's been moved and seconded to move the J Road project forward. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Right.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Steve? We
All
got that?
set, thank you.
All right. Still got to get used to doing this on paper, for God's sakes. We gave you the treasurer's report. Oh, there's a letter that's in your packets. It's labeled on the correspondence as grant monitoring. And it's basically the state of Vermont pulled a grant to check and see how our paperwork was and how we did, and they, or how we were doing, and they decided that we were doing it well enough that they didn't need to monitor it anymore. So that's there for you to read. It specifically points out Steve and Elaine for helping them get that done. That one right there. So
Beautiful.
off we go. Let's see. We did that. Make sure I'm not covering up stuff that I need here. Okay, so the other thing under correspondence is the pilot program. There should be there it is. Hello. This year in the pilot program, was basically in lieu of taxes returned to the town, $13,461. And didn't you say this is down from last year, Carl?
Yes, last year the town received approximately $25,000.
Okay. All right. So that should be in your packets. If it's not, it's right here to copy off if you want to see it. So we took care of that one. Took care of that. Okay. New business. Hybrid meeting model. BCTV has been working with other towns for hybrid presentation of the select board meetings. And there, in your packet, there's something to read on. There's not really anything to decide on right now. There's still a little bit of exploring to do, but right now they are, while they're recording it, they're also streaming it on Zoom. So that people at home that want to come into the board meeting and appear on Zoom can participate in our meeting. One thing that's come up as part of it is there's a list of things here that the BCTV will provide, and there's some things that we need to provide. One of them being a television big enough so that participants can be seen. And what I was thinking of is removing that board there, putting it on that wall so that we can see whoever's talking, they can see us. This is not something that's going to go away. The governor made it pretty clear at one of his press conferences a couple of weeks ago that he felt that these hybrid type meeting things for all different types of meetings was the way to go. So, and then BCTV the next week basically came out with this list of things. Haven't had a chance to explore it deeply. We have an opportunity to get a 40-inch television set for $20, did you say? Or was it free?
No, for free.
For free. So that we could use that. And I've already talked to the rep from BCTV that the 42-inch television that we can get.
Can you work me in the butt? I'll take one.
Oh, okay.
It's not a smart TV, it's just a flat screen.
Yeah, we'd have to do
Well,
some,
that's fine.
we'd have
I'm
to
not
do
a
some.
smart watcher.
Well, essentially what it would do is allow us to have people join the meetings. I know we haven't had that big draw to the meetings in the past, but it'll allow people to join the meetings from home, and maybe we'll get some more participation and input. So that's what that's about. There'll be more to follow once we figure out a couple of these little things here that gotta be taken care of, but this notice should be in your package. Okay, so we did all that stuff. Not worrying about that thing. And
Last one.
next thing. John Deere mower rental. Is that the Fairfield thing?
Yes.
All right. I did it again. Before we do that, let's do the bids. I'll get on it. I have pieces of paper. All right, so I have a bids for, and this will be the crushing bids that Steve sent out the, was an RFP? Is that what
Yes.
you did?
Yes.
Basically requesting people to bid, or giving them the specifications and asking them if they're interested in bidding. And this one is coming from Hunter Excavating, and this is the rock crushing. It says, if I could see this thing, $8 per cubic yard for each product. Be available the second week in July to the end of July. And did they attach an insurance certificate? They attached an insurance certificate for liability. So Hunter is $8 per cubic yard. And again, starting the second week of July and done before the end of July. Is there any more information you need out of that one, Steve?
He's done it the last 2 years.
Has he? The next one is for Basin Brothers Trucking. Same thing, rock crushing.
When did you want this for?
This summer.
July, yeah.
I need a good pile for mud season the next year, so I usually get it late summer.
Okay, this one's from Basin Brothers. Did supply an insurance certificate. They are at 6,000 cubic yards at $660 per cubic yard, $39,600. And then they list some things about screening and jaw crusher and cone. I'm sure you know what that is. Okay. So again, Basin Brothers, 6,000 cubic yards at $6.60 per cubic yard for a total of $39,600. Start date August 9th, end date August 30th. And that's the only two we have on the rock crushing. Was there anything? Was there anything else that we needed on that? This was, they met the deadline?
Just on Basin's bid, is it the same price, the same, the gravel with the stone? Or he's just saying a gross amount of 6,000 yards?
Just saying a gross amount of 6,000 yards.
Okay.
And the other one was just $8 per cubic yard and didn't put any restrictions on or changes. Okay, so these two met the criteria. All right.
Both of them have crushed in the pit in the past.
Okay.
Make a motion to accept Basin's bid at $6.60 per cubic yard for crushing in the town pit.
Okay, motion's been made. Is there a second?
I second.
Is there any discussion?
Should we put in that not to exceed the 39,000 part, or should we not?
Did I put 40,000 on the bid sheet as the budget?
Yes,
Okay.
he already put the not to exceed $40,000 in the bid sheet. Okay, so a motion's been made and seconded to accept Basin's bid for crushing stone. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 There's no opposed. All right, so I'm just gonna put a check mark on that one for when they approve. Do you need these, Steve, or?
No.
Okay. Next one. We have a back Wyndham Road job. While I start this opening Steve, why don't you tell us about this one?
This is Back Wyndham Road is a V-Trans Better Roads Grant Program. It's a $20,000 grant for ditching and stone lining. It's part of Act 64, the Clean Water Act in the state of Vermont. So there's ditching, there's stone lining with 8-inch minus. This entire project is 8-inch minus stone. Some ditching is on one side of the road, some of it's on the other side of the road, depending on whether there's a bank or what's called sheet flow, where the water just goes off the edge of the road into a bank. So our match is 5,000. It could be cash or it could be in kind. Part of it will be in kind because we will do the hydro seeding behind him. So it won't be a complete $5,000 outlay. But again, I'm assuming the bids are going to be in the neighborhood of 20 grand. So let's see what we have.
Okay, well, the right maintenance of New Fane, $29,318. This one is A.S. Clark. And they did provide a liability insurance. Documentation, as well as Clark's. Clark's bid is $20,375 for Back Wyndham Road project. And if I'm not mistaken, they were required to turn in insurance policies for their bid to be considered, correct?
Yes.
Yes. This one is. Open it up right here. Also provided the insurance certificate. Whole Shot Construction of Townsend. It's $23,500. Yep, Whole Shot Construction. This is Why Not Works or Work. Also provided the insurance certificate with their bid. Their bid is $21,950. And we have this one. Yeah. This is GPI maintenance.
Dale Clark.
Dale Clark. Okay. Looks like the liability insurance is included there. $19,750. That was the last one. Okay, what would we like to do?
I'd make a motion to hire GPT Maintenance at the amount of $19,750 to do the work on Back Wyndham Road, following the town's guidelines in the bidding process.
I second that.
Okay, motion's made and second to for GPT maintenance to take care of the ditching project on Back Wyndham Road. Is there any discussion?
Can I just ask why you chose that one?
Because they have the lowest bid.
It's the lowest bid, that's the only, you had these in their work.
Yeah,
Also, when it's state money, we have to have a real good compelling reason why we didn't take the lowest bidder.
so like they have to have done work for the town and had it been wrong, you know, beyond repair or, you know, being a pain to work for, something of that nature. It, you know, it's kind of standard to go with the lowest bid as long as they're using the same specs.
Okay.
So
Carl?
they're all expected to do the same project at the same specs, and they can do it for less.
Did you put an application out, for that bid specifically, not for the bid, for the, grant, specifically for that road?
Yes.
Okay.
So why that road? When Wyndham Regional did the road erosion inventory back in 2017, they developed maps. And the segments that they identified are segments that are considered hydraulically connected, which means that stormwater runoff runs into a stream that runs year round. And also the other criteria is roads that are greater than a 10% grade. We had 67 segments in Townsend that were greater than 10% grade and hydraulically connected. So that's why those have to be completed by 2025 in order for us to stay in compliance with the MRGP.
And segments just means like portions of road.
Yeah,
Not, they can be separate portions on the same road.
so on the map, a segment is laid out every 328 feet
Okay.
and it's numbered and it's on the map. So when we do a pre-bid meeting and all of us show up for the meeting, it's on Back Wyndham Road at the first segment. And we all walk all the segments and they all hear from me after I heard from the state, this gets ditched, this gets a berm taken down, so that they all hear the same information. So they're all bidding on everything that was said at that half-hour meeting. And then if they have questions, they can ask it in front of everybody and they all hear the same answer. So they're all bidding apples to apples.
When did that happen?
That bid happened 2 Fridays ago. Last Friday was the bid for 4 segments on Winslow Drive and 2 segments on Adams Drive. That bid will be opened at the next meeting. All 7 people that were invited to the first one were invited to the second one. Only 3 showed. So we'll only have 3 bids if all 3 submit bids at the next meeting.
And who decides who's invited?
I try to invite all local contractors and contractors that we have used in the past. I invited one who was awarded a grant last year, Hunter Excavating. They're too busy this year. I always invite Larry Gould because he's worked for the town for many years. He decided not to come. So, and then because some of our local contractors have seen this work happening over the last 2 years, expressed an interest, like Dale Clark and Whole Shop. So I invited them this year and we ended up with 7 people to come to the meeting, which I thought was very good.
And they have to attend the meeting, right?
It's a mandatory meeting.
Yeah.
Again, so everybody hears the same information the same way.
So we've had problems in the past where people would submit a bid and not show up for the meeting, not show up for what they were bidding on. So that's one of the things that they need to do. Okay,
I would like to bring up GPT maintenance. He's actually saying that this is an estimate, not a bid. They said that the price is subject to change due to unforeseen circumstances.
okay, I guess we need to talk about that a little bit further. Okay. Has there ever been changes due to unforeseen circumstances? Where the money changes?
No.
Did anyone else use that language?
Yeah, we're about to take a look. No, they didn't.
When we're asking somebody to bid, it's normally a bid job and not an estimate.
Let's see if that's bothers you.
Should we call them?
Do you want to do that now?
Can. I
All
mean,
right.
there's no, ask him if it's, you know, it says on here an estimate, and if it's an estimate, then we need to have a definite, not an estimate.
Nobody else appears to be using estimate as language. Their job estimates on AS Clark.
Yeah, that one was just like a few $100s more.
Yeah, 20,375.
I just never heard of them before.
GPT?
Yeah.
They're right across from Mary Meyer. We'll go past them.
Okay.
It's kind of a loop.
Steve, you want to give these guys a call, find out what they're talking about? We'll, why don't we take a break here for a minute while Steve gets that done, and we'll move on from there. Thank you for picking that up, Carla. I did not see that.
Nice to see you here, Carla.
A couple of years ago, somebody wanted to set up a booth for commercial on the common, massage something or other.
You've still been able
Thrown
to
out.
come in or
I think
do
it
the remote
was
work.
a matter of insurance of
The
the manipulation of body
Putting a lot into
Okay.
it until it's.
as much as anything else. It wasn't
The meetings, yeah.
a fact of, I don't think it was a fact of,
A little less, I guess, stressful.
I think it was more an insurance situation.
Okay.
And I'm not even so sure.
Mhm.
Well,
She was charging, I guess. So that's why I don't.
No answer.
no answer. Okay. Do we need an answer on this tonight? Can we put this off until our next meeting as far as paperwork and
Our next
So we-
meeting is actually 3 weeks.
yeah,
It could wait 3 weeks.
okay. If you're comfortable with it, 3 weeks, maybe what we should do is clarify this one since it's a low bid and if it's not giving us the same, we'll bring it up.
You'll see it.
Okay, all right, here we go. So what we're gonna do is hold off on awarding this one until we get an answer from this person. And we'll re-bring up the Wyndham Hill project, Wyndham Road project next time. Okay. This one's okay, though.
This should be good,
Yeah,
Carla.
Carla needs those. Okay, so we're gonna move on now to the John Deere tractor thing. We've got this is basically a contract, Steve.
Yes, it is.
Good. So why don't you go ahead with it and what we need to do?
So we need to sign the rental agreement for the 2 weeks specified. I believe it starts August 16th for 2 weeks. I filled out the front page with delivery information and my contact information. As select board chair, you have to sign the bottom of page 1 and the bottom of page 4.
Okay,
And then the second paper next to you is what we need to carry for insurance for that unit with the dollar amount.
so we need to carry $134,500 in insurance coverage on there.
For those 2 weeks.
This people we've used before.
Yes. And
And
Carla, you get that through VLCT.
Yes.
So as soon as HP Fairfield receives the signed agreement and the insurance card, we are then locked into those dates.
okay, and that is,
I'll let you know the LCT right now.
so it's $3,400 for 2 weeks, or is it by hour or by
No,
day?
it's unlimited hours.
Okay.
It's $3,400 a week for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So we're at 6,800.
All right. Yeah, here we go. Here's the date, starting August 16th, going through August 27th of 2021. Okay, entertain a motion to move forward with the rental agreement with HP Fairfield for $6,800 for a 2-week period for the tractor for the edge of the roads.
So
Moved, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion about this? Anybody need any further information?
This isn't the mowing. This is something different.
This is the mowing on the sides of the roads, the stuff that's growing into the roads, the ferns, and
I thought we already hired someone.
we talked about mowing of Taft Meadows.
No, this was like over a month ago. I thought we hired someone to do all the mowing.
No, it may have been brought up how we're gonna handle it this year, but for the last several years, we've rented a machine and not a driver in the machine.
Okay.
Okay,
we had a situation a while ago, somebody was hired, didn't end up getting to it throughout the year, and after that, the town has been doing it. We haven't been putting it out to bid.
Mhm.
So we rent the machine and one of our guys operates it.
And it takes 2 weeks to do all of it. Yeah.
Depending on the roads, some are 1 pass because of stone walls, and some roads are 3 passes as far as the arm can reach, just to get all the vegetation knocked down.
Mhm.
We start with the blacktop roads first, the class 2 roads are done first, and then we do the class 3 roads.
okay. If there is no more questions, all those in favor of HP Fairfield rental agreement signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion carried. I'll sign that along with the warrants afterwards. We approve this stuff. All right, we have a request for a permit for, let's see, I'm not sure I can read her writing.
Yoga.
Yeah, yoga. We'll just call it the yoga lady. She'd like to put on yoga classes on the common. Looks like mid-July
Or August.
or August, yeah. And she says that she accepts donations for the classes. She did provide an insurance rider dated 7/13/2020 to 7/13/2021, and it's commercial liability. Looks like $2 million for each occurrence, $100,000 off premise, personal injury, $2 million, general aggregate, $3 million, and then some more about her different services. Now, I know one of the things that Rob and I were discussing, it was about a commercial entity before, but that doesn't seem to, the problem that we have doesn't seem to be here. I don't think there's been anybody asking for use of the common for this, at least this year.
And
You heard any?
there's no conflict with the commercial use because it's donation based.
Yes.
Yeah. You kind of have to be real careful if they're opening up a business, because then they have kind of an inherent right to the property to continue to do it, even maybe after we don't want them to do it anymore. And then you run into an eviction thing. So, is there, I guess I'd entertain a motion to allow this lady to use the common in July and August for the yoga classes.
This is once a week? Or no, not?
It doesn't
Oh, wait.
It
define
doesn't
it.
say, and it
Yeah.
says ongoing classes to begin mid-July or August. It doesn't have an end date, and it doesn't say what day
So as
or
long as,
time.
yeah, as long as it doesn't conflict with anybody else who's actually gotten approved.
Well, my one question would be, I mean, we can go through the entertaining the motion first and then go to the
Okay.
question.
All right, so I guess we'll put the motion out there. Does anybody entertain a motion to allow this
So
to
moved.
happen. So move. Is there a second?
Second,
All right. Is there discussion?
I would like to see, I think it would be good to have the yoga classes on the common. One, the expiration for the insurance is July 13th, which would be nice to see it,
Another
know,
copy.
yep, put, forth for another year. And it would be good to get some sort of an idea for the common schedule, just what days and times that she was thinking about having these classes, so that we would be able to, if we have requests for it, that we are able to have a schedule and be like, we have this going on this day, that going on that day.
we did have a calendar set up for.
Yeah, we do. It's shared between Elenka and myself, and
Okay.
everything that when this building opens up for public rental and the common right now, it goes on that calendar and she can see immediately if somebody comes in.
And also, if there's another function going on at the same time, yoga isn't really rowdy and
No.
carrying on, so they probably could use some sort of a spot, because
Rarely does that entire common get used
yes.
for function. So any other feedback, comments? Anything else?
Yeah, I just think having a specific, more of a specific time and day that it's happening so that it can be worked into the schedule makes sense.
So what would you like to do? Have this come around at our next meeting with those revisions, or say yes to it, but we want certain things to happen?
I would say yes to it, and we would like to have an idea of the days and the times that she's using it, whether it's multiple times a week or once a week, or
Okay.
just a little more on the schedule part, but affirmative on the using it.
All those in favor?
I
Aye.
Aye.
I'm abstaining.
Okay. It's right there, Carla. If we can send her a
Could
note.
you tell us the schedule?
I don't know it.
Okay, so let's see, that takes care of that one. Law enforcement.
It's your secret name for anyone, so.
Law enforcement contract, we haven't received any renewal requests from the state police. We received something just brushed over the top of it from the sheriff's department around town meeting. How do you want to proceed with this? We have the money in the budget starting the first of the year. Do we ask them to come back after the first of the fiscal year and give us what they can do for us? Do you want to have them send us something in writing? How do you want to proceed with this?
Well, I'll openly say that I'm in favor of coming back with the state police.
Okay. Rob?
same.
Okay.
I think I'm abstaining from this.
Okay.
I guess I'm curious what they're doing, what their progress has
It's a
been.
valid question.
I
It's
just
certainly a
wonder
valid
what,
question.
could they ever provide us with a report other than just once a year with what they're doing?
I know the sheriff's department used to give us a monthly report,
Yeah.
I do believe. It would tell you stops, tickets, warnings, and
I
then
mean, that would be helpful.
would give
That
you
would be
the
great.
total of whatever the fines were.
We get that from the state police.
Yes, we do.
But
Elaine gets them.
Is it a
Pays-
monthly or a yearly?
I believe it's monthly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it'd be bad to look at that when we come up against these times, just to see what they're doing, or what's happening.
Okay, we can follow that up for the next meeting.
Because we talked about having them come at certain times in the day, not always at 4 AM, but other times too.
We can certainly do that. We can ask them to give us some more information. They can come and speak if that's what you want. Put on some kind of a presentation. I don't know how those have gone in the past.
The presentations?
Yeah,
Well, I think we had one not too long ago
Yeah.
Yeah,
with the state police.
Lieutenant
Yeah, I
French
think
was
seeing
on.
the reports,
it was on the
seeing
call,
them.
yeah. Okay, well, why don't we do some follow-up and then we'll bring it back to the next meeting.
And I think it boiled down to staffing issues. I'm not sure where they are with that, but
It's not changed. If anything, it's gotten worse. from what I hear anyway. Okay, so that, we'll put it up for, we'll bring it back to the next meeting and we'll do some follow-up with that. All right. I don't have anything for an executive session tonight. Oh, we didn't go over, wait a minute. Didn't go over the Humane Society contract nor the destruction of animals that haven't been registered.
Destruction of animals?
Yeah, every year it's something that needs to be signed off on. They'll bring it forward if there are dogs primarily that haven't been registered and there's no communicating with the town or the person that owns the dogs. They
So a
just
dog gets found.
It goes to the Humane
Goes to the-
Society.
okay.
That's what we're gonna talk about first, the Humane Society. And I clicked through this. I didn't see this until today. Contract fees and language. Not made any changes to the contract language or fees. While the contract is specifically to care for stray or seized animals, your participation helps keep our doors open for all animals in need. So the contract is the same as they had last year. Was there a figure? Yeah, $350.
Yep.
Town shall pay the Humane Society a flat rate of $350 to serve as an impoundment facility for the town, satisfying 20 VSA 3381. Any animal not claimed within 5 days of acceptance, the shelter will consider it released to their discretion. Otherwise, it looks to be about the same as they've had in the past. No changes in fees, and the contract with 17 of the 23 towns in Wyndham County. Any questions about that?
I still don't understand why we pay them to take our animal and then you still have to pay to get your animal back if they have your animal. Whether was lost or whether somebody just picked it up aimlessly on the side of the road or out of your dooryard or whatever it was. So I don't understand what our $350 is if you still have to pay for the animal when you go to pick it up.
Okay.
Right, will they not accept an animal if the town isn't in contract with them?
Well, that's a good question.
Is that the humane way to operate it?
Probably.
As a society?
Probably the reason why there's an added fee on top of it is to cover some of those places where they do take in animals from other places and they can't recoup any funds. It just gives us space at the Humane Society.
Do we have any idea how many dogs are found and brought to them from Townsend?
I don't think there's very many, because town clerk and the assistant town clerk do a lot of extra work to try and make sure that everything gets registered. And if they're found, the constable does what he can to not have to lock them up. Usually what happens is that somebody will pick it up as a stray, take it to the Humane Society and leave it there. And then it's found, one of the owners from town will call in and, you have my dog. What is your dog? One I can remember was a beagle, and it's quite a thunderstorm.
Also, I'm just curious, like this, they're excluding aggressive dogs, but like, what does that mean? Like a dog that's barking or a dog that's actually physically violent to one of their people, that's a risk? Like, because I just wonder how often they deny acceptances from.
Usually they come in, from a law enforcement perspective, they come in at any hour, day or night. They have a key to take them in. I don't know what Warren has got set up for us. Do you have any idea?
No, I do not.
We do everything we can, as far as I'm aware, to make sure that we're not sending things down there, but they're just sometimes there. It happens, and we need a place to put them.
Right, I mean, it's not a lot of money, but.
If we don't have a place to put them, well, at one point, the town constable was holding them in his barn, if I remember right, that was a while ago. And, I mean, that's not fair either. That could turn into a lot of money real fast. So,
How much do we give them for, part of the human services each year?
that's a good question. I don't think they asked for anything this year. Do you remember Humane Society on that list?
Social services?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Is that this year's book?
This is this year's book, yes.
Is it broken down?
Yeah. While she's looking up that, let's go on to the second one, which is just a housekeeping thing. I believe this is signed yearly, but it gives authorization for the town constable, Warren Beatty, to have humanely destroy, impound and or destroy dogs that are not registered or not kept legally by their owners. It also says if the dog or wolf hybrid cannot be placed in an adoptive home or transferred to a humane society or rescue within 10 or greater days. Basically, it just gives the town constable the authority or the authorization for the board to do those things. And if I'm not mistaken, the board has the ability for every one of these things that are supposed to be destroyed. Am I not? Isn't there a warrant that's signed? It doesn't happen very often. I can't think of one in the last couple of years that hasn't been.
Okay, so Carla just found through the social services, the town of Townsend does pay $500 to the Humane Society.
So we don't know what that money covers and what this contract money covers.
Well,
This is separate. This,
It's
yeah,
a social services.
just like
so it's
goodwill.
Gifted
The
charity.
gifted, okay. All right. So do we move forward on the Humane Society and give them the $300 that they're asking for a contract?
Or not.
They don't really have an option. Unless somebody wants
There's
to
no other
house
place
their
to-
barn animals.
Yeah, there's no other
But they'll
place to do
still
it.
take them.
Yeah, there's no other place that will take them. Entertain a motion to accept the contract for another year for the Humane Society to house our dogs at a cost of $350.
So moved.
It's been moved and second. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the Humane Society? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
All right.
Okay. And my count, that's 3-2. Okay, so we'll carry it forward. All right, so the next thing is, do we carry, this is something I don't think we have a choice on either, is the destruction of dogs that the town constable is unsuccessful in dealing with. It's part of state law. Just has to be authorized. So I guess I'd entertain a motion to authorize the town constable to act on either the removal, humane destruction of, or transferring the animal to an animal shelter. Is there a motion on the table?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
No,
Aye.
Aye.
Is there opposed?
No,
Does that mean you are opposed?
means I'm opposed.
Okay, so 4-1. All right, so we'll take care of that. This one needs signatures from all the board members.
Even if they opposed or.
You don't have to, no.
Gosh.
Let's see, law enforcement contract and tax bill for the county, and that's the last thing, under new business. Where did I see that thing? All right, it's missing. Thank you. All right, the tax bill for the county, grant, based on the grand list, at a rate of 0.00876. The bill is $16,536. It's due July 5th through November 5th. I
It's
guess
taking 2 payments, 2 installments.
2 installments, okay. This one does not have to be acted on tonight. It has to be acted on before the first payment goes out, obviously. But is there any question about what it is, why it is, where it is?
all of it.
All of it, okay. Well, here we go. The state of Vermont, there is not a county government in the sense that there are county governments in other states. It is not, it's the county government in this state cannot tax people at their residence. They can't raise property taxes. They can't file a tax against you individually. So what happens is the town is given that tax rate based on the grand list. So when the grand list is reported, they get a certain percentage of it. And this year it is $16,536. It covers the assistant judges. It covers the courts, the county court. What else do they say it covers? Not much. Some of the sheriff's department's budget and the county treasurer, so on and so forth. So it's one of those things that we don't really have a big say in. It will be coming up on our next meeting's warrants. So
where in our budget line item does that show up?
should show up right on the top of it, or right in the liabilities. It was plugged in last year.
I seem to remember Elaine forgot to pay the first installment last year because it was something that was not on the radar.
Yeah.
So it might not be. I'm looking for it right now.
But she paid the full
Yes.
thing the second time. That was one of those ones where we had a big number to go to the county all at once. Did you get these did you get this in your packet?
I don't believe so.
All right, I'll make sure that you do it so that when it comes up, we can have a more informed discussion of it. One of those things like the school budget, we don't have a lot of choice in it. Make sure that everybody gets a copy of that. And other than signing warrants and other paperwork, that's all I have. Does anybody have anything else? Okay, entertain a motion to adjourn. Been moved, is it seconded?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And time to go.